Good evening, good evening, good evening, and a very warm welcome to the very first virtual Cadbury Taste the Action experience created with Soccer Laduma, especially for you, of course, to enjoy from the comforts of your home. I am your host, Andile Ncube, and I'm excited to be here. Now, Cadbury is bringing fans closer to all the soccer action and has put together a legendary lineup for you tonight. I can't wait to share more of what we have in store. But to kick things off, please welcome Andile Ncube, the Senior Brand Manager at Cadbury Chocolate Bars. Over to you, Tamron.
Thanks, Andile. Welcome to the Cadbury Taste the Action experience. I'm Andile Ncube, Senior Brand Manager on Cadbury Chocolate Bars. We are very excited to bring to you our Cadbury Taste the Action campaign, bringing consumers exciting opportunities to win VIP experiences to the UK. Cadbury has partnered with 5 of the top Premier League clubs this year: Arsenal, Chelsea, Liverpool, Manchester United and Tottenham Hotspur, to bring our fans closer to the action. So without any further ado, let's kick off.
Legends don't just happen, they're made, they're molded. They know the taste of glory. Buy a legend, win a legend VIP experience. To enter, buy any 2 participating Cadbury chocolates and dial this number for your chance to score.
Thank you so much, Tamron. There's so many opportunities for you to score with Cadbury, and tonight we're all scoring big. Don't forget to join the conversation in the chat room down below and follow cadburylegends.co.za. And of course, use the hashtag #TasteTheAction for more details on the exciting opportunities Cadbury has in store for you. Now, you may have heard that we have 5 legends of English football in studio tonight, and you've heard right. Get it? Right? No? Well, Ian Wright is here, of course. He scored 185 goals for the team. And when he was at Arsenal, regarded a legend, 185 goals for the team. And today, he's going to be a well-respected sports broadcaster known across the world. We've also got Chelsea legend Michael Essien in the house. He played a few games right here in Cape Town. I don't know if you know that story. Find out about it before going on to become the first African to be named Chelsea Football Player of the Year. Liverpool FC's legend Michael Owen joins us as well. This legend is well recognized as the youngest player to reach 100 goals in the Premier League. South Africa's very own and Cape Town's own Manchester United legend, South African icon Quinton Fortune, is the first and only South African to ever play for Manchester United. Also joins us here tonight. It's going to be packed, I tell you, but that's not all. Finally, Tottenham Hotspur legend Gary Mabbutt is here as well. Who can forget the legend's 16-year spell at Tottenham Hotspur? You just don't get players that stay in one team for that long anymore. He spent 11 of those years as their captain. There's also some serious legends, guys. You don't want to miss it. It's exciting. That's what we say when we say hashtag taste the action. And it's all right here. Here's a taste of what's to come.
Hi, how you doing? I'm Ian Wright here to share more legendary opportunities with our fans in South Africa.
Hi, I'm Michael Owen. Thank you, South Africa, for all the Liverpool support. It's great to be here and give fans another taste of the action with Cadbury.
Welcome to all the Blues fans. I'm Michael Essien, sending a legendary shout out to South Africa.
Hi, it is Gary Mabbutt here. I'm so excited to bring South African football fans closer to all the football action. Keep watching, as there is a lot more in store. Nkosi Sikelele, Africa.
That was a great try, Gary. I appreciate that. Now, I can't wait to hear more. Are you guys ready? Are you writing your comments? Are you getting involved? Hit us up in the chat to let us know how you're feeling and who you're most excited to hear from. For me, I must be honest, it's all the legends. I can't wait to get a word in with them. Tonight is an absolute honor to invite our very own, as we start off, Quinton Fortune on the screen with me. If you don't know this, listen to this. He's the first African player to play for Manchester United. He remains the only South African to have ever played for the Red Devils under Sir Alex Ferguson. He spent 7 years at Man United, scoring 11 goals, featuring in some 126 games before retiring from professional football. Also, in 1998 and in 2002, he played in the South African World Cup team and is one of South Africa's most influential players in the 2002 World Cup. Ladies and gentlemen, live with me, Quinton Fortune. Quinton, always great to see you, looking amazing. Thank you so much for joining us at the Cadbury Taste the Action Experience. What a privilege to be chatting to such a legend. We have so many questions from you for the fans. They want to know so much. So let me just get right in. I don't want to keep you waiting for too long. You're playing for Atletico Madrid. It's 1999. And your agent calls you and says, hey, man, Quinton, listen, there's this little team from Manchester that's interested in you called United. What goes through your mind? What are you thinking? Welcome to the show.
Andile, thank you for having me. Well, it's crazy, Andile, because I was sitting in Madrid and I was watching the game like everyone else, the Champions League final, Manchester United against Bayern Munich. And I was celebrating like crazy at the end, the last 2 minutes when they scored. And then at the end, my agent told me this, there could be a possibility of me getting United. And I just looked at him in disbelief because you have just watched the team that won the treble.
Yeah.
They won the Premier League, the FA Cup, and the Champions League. And I told my teammates, and they were laughing at me. But it happened. It was a crazy experience because majority of those players I had on my wall as a kid, and it's just absolutely out of this world experience.
Absolutely amazing. Solskjaer, Ryan Giggs. I remember that match all too well. I was jumping up and down with you. But I mean, you've had such a long career spanning from, when you did play at Atletico, going all the way to United. What has been the highlight of your football career to date?
To date, I've been very fortunate. The highlights stands out for me straight away is my parents. My parents got this. My dad was a Manchester United fan, and he told me about Manchester United when I was 5 years old, and I didn't understand then. He told me about the player called George Best. And for me to end up at his favorite club, which is just madness. And I think when I made my debut for Manchester United, I flew my parents over to Manchester, and I didn't know I was going to make my debut, but they were in the stadium. So to have my mum and dad there, to see me play for the first time ever in my career, and to score my debut, I think that's something I will never forget.
I mean, that's amazing. That's something you have in common with Michael Owen, of course, when he debuted and he scored on debut. You did too. Your parents in the stand, you say that's one of the most memorable goals that you've scored. Talk me through that first goal at United on your debut with Sir Alex Ferguson sitting on the bench.
Well, first of all, it was a cold December. And the boss, Sir Alex, just spoke to me and he let me know I was going to play, and my stomach started to go. My sweat is coming from all over because it's something you look forward to, but when it happens, it's like the adrenaline starts to go through your body. And I just remember the game started. It was muddy. It wasn't as good as the pitches now. Yeah. And what really helped me was Jaap Stam. All the teamers were brilliant, but there was a free kick in the first half. And all the amazing players on the pitch, Jaap came to me and goes, Quinny, I want you to take it. Okay. I took the free kick, hit the crossbar, and that gave me a little bit more confidence. And I kind of relaxed myself a little bit. And I remember it was a ball, the second half, it was a ball from the right-hand side. And it was myself and Andy Cole slid in. And I don't know how I got in front of Coley, because Coley's the quickest man in the box. And I just managed to get a toe poke and went in. And I think everyone thought Andy Cole scored because they've seen him score so many goals. I ran the opposite way. Coley ran that way. They celebrated with Coley. Then realizing Coley pointed now, it was me. I was on my own celebrating. And I was just so happy because my parents were there. And it meant a lot to me because the sacrifices they made, and for them to witness that was beyond I could ever imagine.
I have the visuals in my head now. Everyone saying, no, let's go the other way.
Yeah, I'm on my own. I'm like teammates. So, yeah.
So Alex Ferguson, I mean, he played a huge role. He brought you to Man United. What was it like training under him?
The boss, Sir Alex, was just the best. There's no other way. A winner. The culture created at Manchester United, man management. He knew what to say, when to say it. You wanted to run through brick walls for him.
Yeah.
The boss was hard when he needed to be. So just everything. Now that I'm doing my coaching badges, I want to be a manager one day. And I take all the stuff I've learned from him. And one of my goals is to create the culture that he created at Manchester United. The culture was just out of this world. The way we train, the application every day, and that never giving up mentality was just relentless.
Quinton, like I said, you've had an amazing career. When you think about it, and you have to pick one moment that stands out for you on the field as a career highlight for you, what is that?
well, obviously playing for Manchester United, winning the Premier League, but I've had so many blessings. Played with my heroes, basically the guys I had on my wall as a kid. Playing in the Champions League against Benny, it was out of this world experience because we were kids in Cape Town. And, a few years later, we're standing on the same pitch. So for me, that winning the Premier League, there's nothing better than that. It's a hard thing to achieve, and when you play your part in helping the lads do it, your teammates do it, it's the most amazing experience.
I share that with you. Watching you and Benny play together in the Champions League, both of you scoring goals, was absolutely amazing. But now you have another first, the first African player to ever play for Manchester United. Does that mean anything to you? Because it's a huge thing, that.
I don't think it's like kind of synced in yet because I don't know why he hasn't. But I don't look at it. And to be honest, Andile, I don't really focus so much on it. The most important for me is that the people that inspired me was like Pele, was Jomo, was Duncan Crowley, was Roger Lins, was Skara Tintwa, was amazing players. So I hope that when kids in South Africa see that I played for Manchester United, that I hope it inspires them that they can do it as well. Because if I can end up playing for Manchester United from Cape Town, any kid in South Africa can come and play as the opportunity and the ability, and they should have the imagination to be able to do the same.
I mean, they need to put in the hard work that you did, the pain and sacrifice that you did. It goes into achieving a dream like yours, yeah? Talk to me about that. What got you to that point?
Oh, there's no magic potion or hard work, sacrifices, the desire, the dedication, the food you have to eat. I had to change my way of eating because it came to you eat whatever is on the table. But the desire. You gotta have the desire. You know, when I left the first time, only thing I knew in my head was, because obviously there's a few things that they see what your parents went through, but I didn't want to go back to Cape Town. So that kept me going because I didn't want to go back to that lifestyle. I wanted to get my parents out of the ghetto, so that kept me going. Yeah. And work. You outwork your teammate. Because I had to come over here to compete with these kids. I had to outrun them. I had to outfight them. I had to whatever there is. I had to outwork them. So, and for me, the most important thing is my faith. So there's no other way out for myself. I would have survived if it wasn't by God's grace.
Quinton, would that be the advice then you give to little Andile, who's growing up, in Soweto, in Tembisa, in Umlazi, Durban, who thinks they're a great athlete, who knows that they can achieve greatness? They look at you and they say, you got there, and they wait to hear what it is that paltered you that far.
I played football every day. There's like, I was the crazy kid in my community. So, and you have to dedicate yourself. You have to, every single day you have to play. Of course, education is important, but if you have the opportunity to do sport and do what's your passion, football came natural to me because I was in love with the game. I still in love with the game now. And I gave it all. You have to give everything because what you put in, you get out. So you have to make the sacrifices, work, and have unlimited imagination. Unlimited. I was a kid from Cape Town dreaming about what life was like in the UK. When I got the opportunity to go to the UK in '91, I wrote on a piece of paper that I wanted to be the best player in the world. I didn't become the best player in the world, but I ended up working towards that. So I just saw Ian Wright coming on there. He was one of my heroes as well. So, but yeah, it was just imagination, dreams. Dream as big as possible. It doesn't matter where you're from. Dream, because like I said, I come from Cape Town, the bottom of Africa, end up playing for Manchester United.
Oh man, that's absolutely amazing, traveling from one port to the other. Quinton, I've got a couple of guys that would love to ask you a question. I mean, it doesn't happen every day that we get fans asking you a question or two. So we're going to start with the first one. Guys are in the waiting room as well, waiting to ask you some questions. Here's the first one.
Hi everyone, this is Lunga Adam, a big fan of the game. I've actually got a question for Quinton. The question goes as follows: what does it take to maintain your fitness and focus over so many years, Quinton? What does it take to stay on top of your game?
Oh, very good question. Well, first of all, you have to look after yourself in terms of the way you train, nutrition, rest. you cannot go out as your friends used to go out, and of course you need to go to restaurants and go out now and then, but it's about dedication. If you want to be a top player and have a long career, you dedicate yourself. As I mentioned, nutrition is so important. Stretching before and after training, the mindset. So, we feed the body, but at the same time, we need to feed the mind by reading a lot of good books. And yoga seemed to have helped the last couple of years. So, and sensible balance. You need to have a balanced life. Family is very important. The game is a special game of football, but you have to balance that with your family as well, because you need to kind of give yourself some time a little bit away from the game, but find the right balance.
All right, so that was the first one. We're going to go into the second one now. I've got messages also that have been written. I'll tell you about those a little bit later, but let's hear let somebody else in, and let's hear what question they have for Quinton.
Hi there, my name is Slu Paho, big fan of the game, big fan of you, Quinton. I have a question for you. What did you tell yourself to help shift your mindset from Cape Town boy to professional Manchester United player?
Well, that's another good question. First of all, I crazy dreams. The first book I ever read first of all, the first book I ever read was Pele book. So that got my imagination even like, wow, this guy's Pele, and look what he's achieved, and he came from Brazil, and where he came from looked like the way where we come from, and looks like me, and looks. So I wanted to be Pele. So that crazy then. But what kept me going and to reach the level, I don't know how. First of all, it's by God's grace that I reached Manchester United. But I always knew that work. That's all I did through my whole career. Work as hard as possible. Give everything. When you play a game, you leave everything on the pitch. When you train as hard as possible, and leave nothing. Just give everything on the pitch, and you have self-belief. There's going to be times where people want to bring it down. You need to have that belief. And my kept me really going with a little bit of a fear, because I didn't want to go back to South Africa. I didn't want to go back to Cape Town. As much as I love where I come from, I wanted to get my mum and dad out of the ghettos. And that was my mindset. I want to get my mum and dad out of the ghettos, and my brothers. Was able to achieve that.
That's absolutely amazing. Before I let you go, some of the comments. This basically says, Ru, who's excited about Leeds coming back to the Premier League, and mentions Benny as well as the people that inspire him. Andy Krause says, so proud of you, cuz. Pops, the comedian, says, once Man United, always a Man United. I'm with you there. Byron says, this is so inspirational. Quinton, we're going to come back with you a little bit later again and have a little bit more of a chat. But thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you a bit later.
Thank you.
That's Quinton Fortune there. He's out of here. We're going to get Michael Essien and Gary Mabbutt to come on, and we're going to be speaking about all things Tottenham Hotspur as well as Chelsea. Ladies and gentlemen, for a few more of our legends to come on, these former players need no introduction. Please help me welcome African soccer legend Michael Essien, a Chelsea legend that we can never forget. He has lifted 13 major titles during his distinguished and memorable career. We also have an icon of English football who made 619 appearances for Tottenham Hotspur, winning the UEFA Cup, and was the last Spurs captain to lift the FA Cup. Gary was also one of the ambassadors for the 2010 World Cup. But before that, I want to go through some of your comments, guys. Come on, keep writing them. I know Pops is there keeping everybody laughing, but write the comments and let's hear what you've got to say for the legends. The legends do get an opportunity to see what you've got to say to them, so we would love to hear what you guys have to say. Remember, get your favorite of the Cadbury chocolates. I'm looking at them now, and I know that I've been indulging in only one. It is the 5-star. That's where I've been spending all my money on. I'm not sure where you're spending your money on, but go for it. Buy your chocolates, take your wrappers, follow the processes, and you could find yourself watching those games live. All right. Well done, Quinton. Quinton's a coach nowadays, guys. He's got a new job, so I wonder if you can hire me. What do you think? Huh? Do you think I could get a contract? Am I a little too old? We'll see. Well done, Quinton. The right balance is a key. Is a comment that I see coming in there. And also Media24, they're on the chat as well. What an amazing experience with this legend. And of course, remember, you always have to do the hashtag. It's hashtag taste the action. Get onto the social media platforms, be it on Twitter, Facebook, if you're on Instagram as well, get on there and just see and let everybody know that we are on here and hashtag taste the action. Michael Owen, he's going to be coming on. Of course, he's a huge legend. When you see what he was able to do, the achievements that he was able to achieve as well, it's absolutely amazing. But I've got something with Ian Wright. He's one that I look at as well, because when you take a look at Ian Wright and where he is now as an analyst in life, that's more of the realm that I'm in. He's still the most stylish guy. He's the most stylish guy. He'll put on that cool hat. So I can't wait to see what Ian Wright looks like today. Oh, Mojak. Mojak, you are so kind. Thank you so much. We're going to dial in to Ian now. Let's see if we can get a hold of Ian. Ian Wright joining me on this chat. He's not going to disappoint, guys. I'm telling you, that's where I get my swag. That's where I get my swag. It's from Ian Wright, the most swagful guy out there. Charlotte says self-belief is always key in any aspect of life. You thought you were coming here for a soccer chat with Cadbury, but take a look at that, huh? You got life experiences and life advice as well. If you're a young athlete who's looking to make it, if you're a young athlete who's looking to get onto the next level, that trajectory looking good for you, this is where you need to be. You need to listen to these legends. They know it. They went through it, okay? If you're just joining us, it's the Taste the Action Experience. It's the very first with a Cadbury hashtag Taste the Action. We've got legends across the field from the Premier League, which is underway at the moment. And I'm pretty sure a lot of you have your fantasy teams, you're watching your favorite teams, and you're wondering what it is that's going to take them to get to the next level. Who's going to win it this season? Well, these legends here are going to tell you exactly what it takes to get there. But the end goal, of course, is the big one, and that's an opportunity to fly to your favorite team and watch them live. It's the Cadbury Taste the Action Experience, and we received countless questions from all South African fans across, and it was difficult to know which ones to choose, but some of you are speaking to your favorite legends live. We've got Ian Wright. We've finally got Ian. Guys, as you understand, this is a new normal for all of us, but we do have Ian. Ian, welcome to the show.
How you doing?
I'm well. I said so much about how swaggy you're going to be looking, and there you are, looking great as normal. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you very much for your kind words, man. Just listening to Quinton there is brilliant.
Quinton, we've had so many people that would love to ask you questions that couldn't wait to get to this point. Let's get right into it. You know, when you look at your career and where you are now, you know, what do you make of your entire journey?
Well, you know, I don't know. It's very hard when you look back like that, because while you're in it, you're just trying to achieve, and you're trying to stay focused. And when you listen to all the stuff that Quinton was saying, is about working hard, you know, doing all the right things. So you don't get time to look at what you're actually doing. And then when you finish playing now, and people talk about your career, and you know, when it came up when I was younger, you know, how hard it was to get there, and then finally getting there, then you achieve. You know, it's now you look back and you think, I'm quite pleased with the way it's gone. But the thing is that I tried to work as hard as I can, as hard as I could, every single day. So when I went to training, I made sure that every single day in training, I trained and the best I could. So as I was always the very best. So when I look back at it now, I know I put the work in. And so I'm very proud of the fact that I was able to, for such a long period of time, try to continue to attain the very, very best I could be every time I played.
I saw Arsenal lifting the FA Cup this past season, and it took me back to 1990. You scored 2 goals in that match. Do you still have those flashbacks? Whenever that happens, they lift the FA Cup. Do you relive 1990?
You're joking. Anytime you mention the FA Cup, I remember this. Simply because when we were growing up, the FA Cup, and I'm sure it would happen all over Africa as well, was one of the main football games that was around the world. And they used to talk about it all the time. When I was young, I've watched every single FA Cup from 1970 all the way through. It was the main game that I would watch, and it's something that you could only dream about maybe getting a chance to play. You know, even to see I never went to Wembley until I played in that game.
What?
So I never even went to Wembley. I had no business. I was at Palace. I wasn't nowhere near the England game. we were nowhere near playing for England, I should say. Palace weren't doing stuff where you could be getting to play at Wembley. So I never went to Wembley. I only saw Wembley on the television, all those games when I was growing up. So to finally get there, and the funny thing is that season I nearly missed it because I broke my leg twice, the fibula on my left side. So I thought I was going to miss the game. So when I finally got there and, we're losing 2-1 and, it's 70 minutes, I'm thinking Steve Copper, he's not going to put me on. Then he put me on with 70 minutes, man. And honestly, all I said to myself was, wherever I get the ball, when I go on there, I'm getting it out my feet, I'm shooting. That's all I'm going to do. And the thing is, it's funny because I was running around trying to catch my breath firstly. It was very spongy. And then I remember the first time I kind of really got the ball was when Mark Bright played it to me. So remember, I'm thinking in my head, just want to get it out my feet. But when I done that, Mike Phelan was in the way. And when I got past Mike Phelan, Gary Pallister was in the way. So I had to beat him, cut inside, then I put it under the goalkeeper, Jim Layton. And for me, if I never ever done anything else in respects of football, winning the league, winning the trophies, playing for England, that moment in itself, on its own, would have been enough for me in my career because it was the dream that I never thought I'd ever realize.
It was absolutely amazing. I mean, even for us here in South Africa watching it, and even those that are younger that keep seeing those games now and what you had to give was amazing. But it hasn't stopped there. Not only are you this new stylish analyst on TV, but even there you've gone on to be brilliant at doing that as well. What keeps you going to achieve new goals? Is it a mindset that starts from when you're a player?
Absolutely. What I'm trying to do now with the punditry, which I feel is a vital role in football, is to try and give insight. I try to speak and try to give a clarity that will make people who don't watch football understand what's just happened. And I work a lot, I read a lot to find out that, the main thing is to try and give insight. To be able to have played football for a living, and then you're able to speak about football for a living, you're in a very privileged position. So you owe it to yourself to make sure that you're giving the very best that you can. The motivation for me is to be the best at what I'm doing, give people insight, and make people feel like they want to do it as well. Work hard to do it. Like Quinton said, when you look at Quinton and what Quinton's actually achieved coming from South Africa and getting to the top, playing for one of the greatest clubs in the world, we could do anything. And for me, to be able to play football and now talk about football to try and pass it on is blessed. I'm blessed and I know it. So I'll just try and be the best I can. Like I say, I haven't changed my attitude. Even when I played, is be the best you can in anything you choose to try and give somebody else the inspiration to move forward.
Speaking of inspiration, we've got a lot of messages that are coming through for Ian Wright. All of them are speaking about the inspiration you gave to people that weren't even supportive of the teams that you played for. They were supporting other teams. And I can tell you now, black children across the world were inspired, having seen what you were able to do and achieve. Ian Wright, thank you so much. We really do appreciate your time with us.
Thank you. My pleasure. God bless everybody.
Ian Wright, ladies and gentlemen, who would have thought? Right here, Cadbury bringing you Ian Wright. Hearing that story, I mean, I'd never actually heard that story. I've read so much about Ian Wright. He had never, ever been until that day. There he is at Wembley when he gets to play. Other than that, he had never been there. Ian Wright truly is a legend, regardless of the team you support. And he's brilliant as a pundit. I agree. Ex-footballers don't always make the transition to do that well. Kurja there with some jabs as well, but he is spot on. Here is a man that is able to do that. I want to switch off now from Ian and move on to Michael. Is a Michael with us? Michael is going to be joining us as well. Remember, we have two Michaels. We have Michael Owen, who's going to be joining us, and Michael Essien as well, who will be with us. And we want to talk to both of them about so much. Michael, are you there?
I'm here.
Hey, there he is. Michael Owen, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for joining us, Michael.
It's my pleasure. Great to speak to you. How are we?
Oh, we're great, but I can imagine you even better. People are still suffering from the hangover of lifting the trophy after 30 years.
That's right. Yeah, I'm sure there are some people. Some of us have got to get back to work and start on the new season. But no, it's been 30 long years, of course, for Liverpool to win the top flight title, first time ever to win the Premier League. I mean, who would have believed that? Liverpool have won so many trophies over the years, but it was the one that eluded them. So everybody is so happy, and now they're so keen to try to retain it.
How did you feel? I mean, as an ex-player who went for it for so many years, tried to get them that first, when you saw that, what did you go through?
Yeah, it was really strange because, you know, when I was growing up, Liverpool were the team to beat. And then you know, as I was getting closer and closer to the first team, Liverpool had slipped. No question about it. They were languishing a little bit in positions that they had not been used to. And then I think I got into the team. We hadn't won much for a long period of time, but then we managed to win a lot of trophies. But the one trophy that we were desperate for, of course, was the Premier League trophy. And then subsequently, the team went and won some amazing trophies, you know, Champions League a couple of times, things like that. So there's no doubt about it. They proved that they were a top team. They got back to the top table of football around the world. However, it was just that one trophy that was eluding them. And finally, it's the one that the fans
30
want.
years later, Michael, what about you? I mean, individually, as well as the teams that you've played for, you've won numerous awards in your career. What's your highlight? What stands out the most?
Well, it's always hard to pick one moment. There've been so many highlights. I think if I just picked a couple, I'd say breaking onto the scene and scoring in the World Cup against Argentina was sort of a moment that never leaves me. No matter what, people still meet me and say that goal against Argentina in the World Cup. And I think partly because of the goal, it was such a goal, and then and my age as well. I was only 18 at the time, so that announced me to the world. But then there were 2 or 3 other moments. Scoring 2 goals in the FA Cup final to beat Arsenal when we won 5 trophies in the year, and then it culminated in me winning the Ballon d'Or. That was a special season. Scoring a hat-trick against Germany for England, beating them 5-1 was special as well. So many great moments. I'm just sad that I'm no longer playing the game.
Oh, Michael, we're sad you're no longer playing the game too. It was always a pleasure watching you do it. I think we've got Gary on the line, and I wonder if we can put Gary on while we're still chatting to Michael. Gary Mabbutt, of course, Tottenham Hotspur. You just, Gary's just left, unfortunately. We just left him. Michael, before I do let you go, in introducing Gary, you just don't get players that stay in one team for as long as he did with Tottenham anymore.
No, it happens quite rarely. I mean, if you're a top team, you know, you look back at players like Jamie Carragher, Steven Gerrard, of course, left at the very end of his career, and then you look at Manchester United, some of those players that came through, the Scholeses and Giggses and Gary Nevilles of this world, but it is quite rare. It really is, and I think you've almost got to grow organically within a team and be at a top team as well. I think that helps because there's no temptation to go elsewhere if you're at the top team winning trophies. So it's not easy, but they're a very rare breed, and obviously Gary Mabbutt was one of them.
Before I let you go, Liverpool, are they doing it again?
I think so. I think they've got a big performance and a big team to beat them. I mean, they've been fantastic. So I think, I'm going to go for Liverpool.
Michael, thank you so much for giving us your time. Fans in South Africa going absolutely nuts. They love you. Can't wait to see you on the telly.
Great to speak to you. Thanks very much. Take care.
Ladies and gentlemen, Michael Owen, thank you so much for being a part of the show. Like I said, it could be better for you. It could move from this online platform with Cadbury and go all the way to tasting the action by your favorite team, watching Tottenham Hotspur with Mourinho now in the lead. And I heard, that Bale has signed on and he's coming for the next season. You could be watching all of that live. Let's see if we have Gary back. Gary, hello? Okay, Gary's still coming up. So do remember that it's buying 2 of your favorite chocolates. Take the wrappers, fill the information in. If you want more information, get onto the social media sites, get onto the site as well, and get all the information you need. If you're a part of this chat right now, let everybody on Twitter know. It's hashtag Taste the Action. Ian Wright was here a little bit earlier. We had our very own Quinton Fortune, who's coming back a bit later as well, because that's the big one. And Michael Essien still to come. Ian Wright, Michael Owen, we just had a chat to now, and he revealed some of his favorite moments from his playing days. You can imagine why he'd choose Argentina as the game that he scored against to be a highlight in his life. Gary now joins us. Gary, hi, welcome.
Hi, good evening.
So good to have you. Thank you so much for joining us. Just speaking to Michael Owen there about you and, the amazing history that you had with Tottenham Hotspur, the perseverance to achieve greatness and do it all from the same team.
Yes, and no, obviously I was very lucky. I had some wonderful years at Spurs. I was there for 16 years and I was the captain for 11 years. So like all the other guys you've had on already, I was very fortunate to be one of the top teams in the world. And I think the passions that you have to have, the desire, the determination, I think was what got me through those years.
And my squint eye can see just in the background there, I see there representing England, a very younger Gary Mabbutt there, representing the country and the team for so many years, country especially. That's got to have meant a lot to you.
Yes, I think, having been at the club for so long, I have some fantastic memories of my Spurs games, but of course, playing for your country. I remember walking out to Wembley to play against West Germany. West Germany just played in the World Cup final, and we played them like a month later. And that was my debut for England. And walking out there with 100,000 fans there, most of them England fans, and standing there with your England shirt on, really singing the national anthem. I mean, the goosebumps on my neck. It's like everybody in South Africa, if they ever go to Ellis Park for a rugby game, and suddenly before the game, Nkosi Sikelele Africa is being sung.
Oh yeah.
Everybody has got that feeling. Well, it was like for me at Wembley on that day. And there were some great moments playing for England. I scored a goal against Yugoslavia, which was obviously very nice to do. So yes, playing for your country is exceedingly special. But of course, I think it gives you a lot of pride in representing your country.
I love that. You got it spot on. Nkosi Sikelele Africa was spot on, Gary. Well done for that. I spoke to Quinton Fortune a little bit earlier, and he speaks about how, when you're in the moment, when you were standing at Wembley there, singing the national anthem, you don't see it quite the same. In retrospect now, when you look at your career, when you look at playing for England and you think about all those games, what does it mean now? How different is it when you think about it now?
Well, it's quite strange because I always wanted to enjoy every moment I had in my career. I used to love playing the big games, playing at the Nou Camp against Barcelona, playing the Bernabeu against Real Madrid, at Anfield against Liverpool, Old Trafford against United. I used to love playing the big games. I used to always want to make sure that I made the most of it. I remember once at Liverpool, where you come out before the game, you come out one side and you're very close to where their dressing room is on the opposite side. You come out, you turn to the left, and you walk down some steps. As you walk down the steps, there's a massive sign, the Anfield, the Liverpool emblem, and it says, "This is Anfield." And I'd seen it so many times throughout my life, growing up watching it on television. And all the Liverpool players used to touch it on the way out.
Yeah.
And I did the same. I'm walking out for Spurs, and I used to touch it. And I remember Graham Souness giving me a look like I was taking the mickey. It wasn't. It was just, I said to him, I said, "Hey, this is what I'm here for. This is what I've lived for." And so I used to enjoy every moment of my career. So I tried to make the most of it. Some people said that you had to be very careful because sometimes it can just pass you by and, all goes very quickly. I tried to enjoy every single moment that I had. And of course, it's not all highlights. Sometimes you have some bad times. And certainly, I think for all the youngsters, I've been lucky enough to be in South Africa, do a lot of coaching. I was one of the ambassadors for the World Cup in 2010.
Yeah.
So I spent a lot of time in different parts of South Africa, in the townships, in Soweto, Alexandra, Umlazi, Khayelitsha, Mitchell's Plains, doing a lot of work with the youngsters and the passions they have for football. But everybody's going to get setbacks in life. And my thing in my life was that every time I got a setback, I used it as a stepping stone to move forward. So I never let setbacks, affect me. I always used to try to take it as a positive to actually look at what happened, make sure it doesn't happen again, and get on with it.
Gary, that's a quotable from today's show. I can tell you that now. I'm going to write that in the little book and read it every morning. Now, I've got a comment here to you from Tariq Sido, who says, "You managed to play with Gaza and Lineker, some of the players I loved as a kid when watching the EPL. Of course, yourself and those legends introduced the EPL to the greater world."
Yes, obviously I was very lucky being captain for 11 years at Spurs. I mean, from the time that I joined, I played with some greats like Osvaldo Ardiles, who won the World Cup with Argentina, and then the likes of Glenn Hoddle, who again was a fantastic footballer. But then they say Gary Lineker was my room partner for Spurs. So obviously I got on very well with Gary. Gazza has been very close to me over the years, so I still talk to him, every week. So yes, it's you still keep in touch with the players, but I was lucky that I played with some fantastic quality players. And Jurgen Klinsmann, the German striker, what a player he was.
Oh yeah.
David Ginola, again the French international. Had some wonderful players that I played alongside. Teddy Sheringham, another one, English international, a great striker. So yes, I was fortunate throughout my time. I played with some fantastic players, but also against some fantastic players as well.
Gary, I'm going to put you on the spot here, and it's not my fault. It's Lungile's fault, who says, please ask Gary to sing the national anthem. Please. He's actually very good. Gary, no ways. Really?
Absolutely. When I was an ambassador for the World Cup, when we were trying to win the bid, I promised that if we actually won the bid to have the World Cup in South Africa, I would sing the national anthem live on radio. It was back in 2010. and I managed to do it. So there you go. So,
Gary, I've got to hear it. The proof is in the pudding here. We've got hundreds of people and millions later who'll be watching this who are not going to believe you.
Yeah, but I've got a terrible voice.
I'll sing it with you. Mine's even worse.
I'll do my best. Okay, then. Here we go, then. Ready? After 3. 1, 2, 3. Nkosi Lili Afrika Makalisu Pundulwayo Yiswa Yemitanda Zoyetu Kozi Sikelela Ina Husafalwayo Morena Baluka Se Chaba Saesu O Fedi Se Dintwale Maswenge O Se Baluke Se Baluke Se Chaba Sa Esu Se Chaba Sa South Africa South Africa Eki bro van onze hemel, die dit van ons zeer. Hoe de zeerber herber bertes, voor die kranse ontwoord giet. Sounds the call to come together, and united we shall stand. Let us live and strive for freedom in South Africa, our land.
Gary, I'll tell you what, that's better than some people I know right here in South Africa. Absolutely amazing. Wow, well done on that. It's so good that Sipesihle says, Mr. Gary knows he's Zulu. Oh, my word. So we're going to give him a new name from now on. He will be called one of the most popular surnames in South Africa, Ukacheni.
Ukacheni. That sounds good. I like that.
I absolutely love it. I got to let you go, Gary. I've taken too much of your time. But before I do, looking at Tottenham now, you've got Mourinho, you've got Bale coming apparently. That's almost done. What do you make of them this season and the next couple of seasons moving forward?
Well, I think we've had a good pre-season, but our first game against Everton, I think we let ourselves down. It was a poor performance. The players know that. We've got a Europa League game in Bulgaria tonight. We've got Southampton on Sunday. Both are winnable games. So we can win both those games, we'll be back on track. And of course, the news coming out at the moment, Gareth Bale looks like he's definitely going to be joining us.
Coming back home.
Yep, coming back home on loan for the season. So that would be absolutely fantastic. He is obviously a world-class player still, so we all look forward to that.
Gary, it's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you so much for having made the time. Everybody agrees that you are an absolute legend in every way possible. You are the epitome of that word. Thank you so much.
Absolute pleasure. Thank you very much for having me on your show.
Thank you so much. It is a Gary Mabbutt there. Like I've said, guys, you've seen the chocolates behind me. It's Cadbury FC. It's Taste the Action. That's the hashtag. Buy 2 of those. And if you got some spare change, get me the 5-star, the slab, the big one. That's where I'm at. We're going to go back to Quinton now. Quinton is joining us back. Quinton, welcome back. Quinton, you heard Gary there singing the national anthem. He's better than most people I know.
He's better than me, believe you. First of all, I was at Tottenham as a kid, and Gary Mabbutt was his unbelievable human being. And we need to give Gary Mabbutt a South African passport and give him land. He's South African.
I'll tell you what, any day. He's absolutely great. Quinton, before I let you go, and this is why I brought you back, because this is an amazing opportunity, and that's why we're doing all of this, with Cadbury. Somebody is going to be a part of something great. Talk to me about match day at United.
Oh my goodness! Wow. Well, first of all, when the fans are allowed back into the stadium, and obviously for obvious reasons, but at match day, the atmosphere is nothing compared to it. Especially in the Champions League nights, the fans get there super early, go to the mega store, do their tours, the Old Trafford tours, and see the museum and everything. But when the players walk out and the atmosphere and the crowd and noise and they play the Champions League music, it's something really special. And I wish that for every South African or every person in the African continent or around the world to have that experience. But it's something very, very, very special.
Oh, Quinton, I've got Katlego who's waiting in line and would love to ask you something. I don't want to deny him the opportunity. Katlego, Quinton's here.
Hi, Quinton. My name is Katlego Matlabane. As a fan of the game and as a fan of you specifically, I'd like to know, what was it like playing against the invincible legends of your generation of players? And how did it feel when you ran onto the field for them for the first time?
Wow. When he talks about the invincible legends, he's always talking about the Arsenal team. It was great. We used to absolutely love playing against Arsenal. What I do remember is that the week before we play Arsenal, something changed in the training sessions for some reason. Tackles were flying in, the tempo changed. And I just remember that Alex used to stop training, cut training short on the Friday because it was getting so intense. And he knew when to stop it, and that kind of left the players with frustration. But then on the match day, he released you. So it's like the first person you look for is like probably Patrick Vieira because he was the leader. So everyone tried to get close to Patrick. He was a wonderful player. You can go through the whole team. You had Sol, you had Thierry Henry. I mean, all these Dennis Bergkamp, wonderful players. And we used to absolutely enjoy the competition of playing against them because they gave it back and they could play. They could do everything that we could do. So we really enjoyed that.
That David Bergkamp and Thierry Henry combination was lethal at that time. Quinton, I'm going to park off for a second here because I want us to tell them about the opportunity that they could win. But I'm going to put this conversation aside for 2 seconds. Michael Essien, we've been trying to get a hold of him, and finally we're able to get a hold of the Ghanaian and a Chelsea legend. Michael, thank you so much for joining us. Welcome to the show. All right, we're waiting for Michael to come in so we could have a word with Michael Essien. He's the last of our legends that we're going to be speaking to this evening before going back to Quinton Fortune, of course, giving you all those details that could have you experience all that these super legends have been speaking about. Do we have Michael yet? Oh, we do have Michael. Michael, thank you so much for joining us. Good to see you again. Welcome to the show.
Hello. Thank you. How are you guys? Hello, Quinton. How are you?
Michael, great to have you here. You look like you're in good spirits.
Thank you.
Let's go straight into it, Michael. What does it mean to you to represent Africa on such a public stage as you did in English football?
I mean, it means a lot. I mean, it's a dream of any African kid to come to Europe and represent the continent. So I mean, I feel very privileged to have the opportunity to do that. I mean, I take that privilege to heart.
So many have come after you and done exactly what you did, and some are still trying. We're really proud of all the achievements that you made. What about you? I mean, we've heard from Michael, Owen, and Quinton, as well as Gary, speak about their career highlights. When you think about your career highlights at Chelsea, what plays in your memory reel of highlights?
I mean, well, as a young boy growing up in Ghana, we are very used to watching the Premier League at that time. And our dream is one day to be there and enjoy it. And well, I managed to do that. And then when I look back, I mean, I look back and I feel very proud, to be there to represent the continent and also win a lot of trophies for Chelsea.
Michael, I'm in Cape Town at the moment, and we're shooting from Cape Town. And when I say to people in Cape Town that, hey, I'm going to be speaking to Michael Essien, they said, hey, talk to that man. He knows Cape Town all too well. Tell me about your time in Cape Town.
I mean, I've been to Cape Town a few times. I remember the first time I was there, I think I was around 16, 17. We played the Meridian Cup at that time. And I fell in love with Cape Town. So every time I've been there, I have the opportunity to come to Cape Town. I'm happy. It's such a lovely city.
It really is. Michael, I mean, at the moment, everybody wants a piece of Michael. And, others even saying, I read a couple of columns saying, Michael Essien, maybe he should come play a game or two for, someone in South Africa. Where are you at the moment in terms of where you want to go next with your career?
No, at the moment I'm making this big transition in my career now. Getting all the experience in the coaching aspect of the game. So I'm looking forward to do my badges, and I've got this great opportunity from FC Northern to be part of their coaching staff, and well as being around the players as well, giving them advices, and also, I mean, guiding them on the pitch and stuff like that. So, I mean, it's been great, and I've been here for a week now. So I'm still learning. Yeah, I'm still learning, and getting all the experiences I would need. Yeah.
And that's amazing, because you look at Quinton Fortune, now a first team coach. You look at players that you played with or against. You got Solskjaer, you got even at Chelsea, you got a player that you played shoulder to shoulder with that's leading the team. And you're seeing a lot of that happening throughout Europe, where former players, Zidane as well at Madrid, coaching. And how have you thought they're doing, particularly when you look at what's happening at Chelsea?
I mean, they are doing good. I mean, they are big players. They know the game inside out, and they know how to manage the team. So I think so far they are doing good. I mean, Zidane has done very well for Madrid, and I mean, Lampard is his second year now. I think his first year was good, was great, and yeah, we wish him well, and hopefully he can do better this season.
How do you think? I mean, as a true blue, as Pesita is saying here, what do you think are the realistic chances for a team that seemingly has signed the best so far, Chelsea, for this season?
I mean, when you look at the signings they've done this year, you'll be hoping for them to fight for the title. So I think that's what everyone is expecting, and hopefully they can manage to pull that out, and it will be great. It will be great, but it's not going to be easy. But I think they've got so far they've got the players to go in for that.
Michael Essien, I hope that the rumors are true. I hope that you are considering coming to South Africa to say goodbye and play for a team. Yeah, it would be lovely to see you. But thank you so much for your time.
You're very welcome. You're very welcome. And hopefully I'll be in South Africa soon.
That's Michael Essien, ever so humble and an absolute amazing guy. Thank you so much. Now we've got to wrap it up. Unfortunately, time has come for us to say goodbye. But before that, Quinton, thank you so much for coming through. Thank you so much to all the Premier League legends that came along with you. Before we go, though, as you know, the Cadbury Taste the Action campaign is giving fans the opportunity to win some legendary prizes, including one of 3 trips to the UK in 2021, including a VIP matchday experience. Please give the audience a taste of what that's like. On match day, what are they going to experience?
Is that from, sorry, Andile, I'm just...
There we go. Quinton's now back with us. As you know, virtual things, sometimes there's problems and issues here and there, but Quinton can now fully hear me. Quinton, we're talking about the experience that somebody could win, somebody that's on this live chat right now, somebody that's entering and eating that yummy chocolate. They could find themselves at Old Trafford. What is it like on match day? I remember getting off the train at the station just by the stadium and the walk to the stadium. Even that is an experience on its own.
Well, first of all, when the fans are obviously allowed back into the stadium, that would be amazing. But bring your umbrellas. In Manchester, it rains a lot. So wherever you are, bring your umbrella, bring your jacket. It could be a warm day in Manchester, but the weather can change in 5-10 minutes. Just the atmosphere at Old Trafford. And
it's like Cape Town, isn't it?
Yeah. And these legends will tell you the amazing atmosphere you have at Old Trafford. And just, when I was there as a player, just remind myself that the greats that played there before me, from Matt Busby days, the Bobby Charlton, the George Best, the Dennis Laws, and then the treble team and Sir Alex, and it's an amazing stadium. And when you get the opportunity to go there and watch a Premier League game or FA Cup or even better the Champions League, is one of the best experiences you could ever ask for in the world. So I wish every fan could have this experience.
Quinton, thank you so much for your time and good luck with your new job. We're all rooting for you.
Thank you.
That's Quinton Fortune, ladies and gentlemen. Remember, the prizes include one of 3 trips to the UK for 2 in 2021. This includes a VIP match day experience. I can tell you now, I did it at Stamford Bridge when I went to watch Chelsea. I did it at Man United in the last game Sir Alex Ferguson played. I had been there, I think, 2 months before. When I heard he's saying goodbye, I went back. Amazing. There are no words to describe what it's like to be there on game day. And Quinton can tell you, because as I arrived on my way to the VIP suite on my match day, I bumped into him in his Man United suit. At the time, he was working as an ambassador for United. It was amazing. Gary Player, bumped into him there as well. It's just an experience like no other. All you have to do is taste the action with Cadbury, follow the prompts, get your chocolate, and you'll see yourself there. Thank you so much for joining me and these amazing soccer legends for the Cadbury Taste the Action experience. What an hour it's been. It's all gone now. I feel inspired and excited. Ladies and gentlemen, don't forget, you can still taste the action with some of the legends of soccer and stand the chance to win some of the amazing prizes already mentioned. There really is nothing that compares to experience at English football live. My name is Andile Ncube. Visit cadburylegends.co.za for all the details on the exciting opportunities waiting for you. From one legend to another, thank you for joining us. I'm out.